episode of Punch Me in the Face. I got a very distinguished guest. You ever been introduced as distinguished before? Never. Probably never will again. But my man Christo is here with us. Say what's up to everybody.
What's happening? I'm grateful to be here.
We're grateful to have you, dude. He's got his sharp jacket on. What's that thing up at the top? Is that like a little...
That's from JP. He threw it on.
Really?
Yes. I'll take you there next time you're in Scottsdale.
It's gangster. I don't even know what's going on, but I like it. It's confusing to me. I like it. So, well, first of all, appreciate you getting on. And we work really hard putting out content to help people understand how to believe in themselves more, how to get literally, figuratively punched in the face in life. And I think the problem is, for a lot of us, is that we have this built-in ceiling with this built-in lid. We listen to what other people have to say, and you have a really cool story. And number one, it's true. So I like true stories. Yeah. I'm not a big fictional kind of guy. But somebody had said to me one day, we were talking, and they said, "Man, did you know Christo's background?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And they said, "Well, actually, before I say that, because I want you to share, but I want to share with you what this guy told me. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, how you got to where you are, what you got going on now? Because here's a guy that is doing well financially. I know you have crazy aspirations to do much better, which is great, but you're making more money than the vast majority of the people live in America, legitimately, by the way. So we don't fuck around here. I'm on social media and I make $1 million a fucking day. It's like, no, you don't, crackhead. You live with your fucking mom. We know you. That's not your fucking plane. I had a guy one day like this. He took a picture at my plane and posted on his social media plane as his fucking plane. Yeah, I'm never making it up.
Fraudulent.
Dude, but I'm like, and I almost left because I didn't care. Because I'm like, can you imagine how pathetic you'd have to be to go to other people's shit, take pictures of it? When I drove my Honda Accord, fucking 10 years ago with 300,000 miles on it, I didn't take no picture of a Lamborghini. I fucking had a Honda Accord. I didn't take a picture of anybody else's house. I flew south fucking west, middle seat. Yeah. C30 was my boarding thing. I wasn't I wasn't paying the extra money for the A, whatever. I was broke. Tell us about you, where you were, how you got to where you are now, what's going on in your life.
Do we not want to do childhood to...
Dude, anything you want. It's fucking punch me in the face. You can share anything you want, dude.
So, breakdown, backstory. I grew up on an extremely small fucking island in Washington. It's called San Juan Island.
How many people live there?
5,000.
San Juan Island.
Yeah, Friday Harbor. There's, you might know Roche Harbor up there.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I grew up on that island, super small.
What's your nationality, ethnicity?
I don't even know. We're gonna figure it out. Yeah.
You're not Scottish or Irish?
German, Irish, a whole bunch of stuff. I need to.
You need to look at. You need to whatchamacallit, 23 things. Yeah. Just don't share the DNA. I'm just saying that's always good advice. I'm not saying you did anything wrong, but I did mine, and they're like, it tells you all this stuff. You share DNA. I'm like, no, dude. I don't think I did anything wrong, but just say somebody in my family. I don't want somebody calling me going I'm your brother or your sister or your mother did this. I'm like, no, I'm just good, bro. Yeah. The family I know now is the family I need to know.
They're like, let me get that check, Sean. So dad's from Canada, Prince Edward Island. Mom's family's from Georgia, so kind of versatile. I lived on San Juan Island. No stoplights, no fast food. Odd little place.
Wow. How many people were in your school?
I think in my class there was 68.
68 people in your entire class?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So I had a really special childhood. I grew up outside throwing whittled sticks, spears, seriously? Shooting shit. I had a really cool childhood.
Okay.
Had a dirt bike, busted dirt bike. Used to drive over to my best friend Sam Leibold's house. Horses, cows, bale hay. Combination of hippie, city slicker, and hick.
What'd your mom and dad do for work?
My mom worked at the sheriff's office.
Doing what?
She was she assisted the prosecutor and then did dispatch.
Wow.
So
she got so proud of her son in the criminal justice system.
Yeah, she got phone calls about us. So that's a wild thing. And my dad was a real estate agent.
Got it. Okay.
So growing up there, super humble background, right? Definitely learned a lot about life, right? I got to connect with people. I was outside, wasn't playing a ton of video games, doing cool shit. There wasn't a lot to do, so we had fun.
That's cool.
We would hide in pinecone cars, just wholesome stuff you see in movies. And so I lived from there till I was 15 years old, and I moved up to Bellingham, which is the mainland.
Got it.
and went to high school up there. But one thing I'll bring up, when I was 10, the normal family that I grew up in, right? Both my parents are drug addict, alcoholic. They both
Really?
have 30
Okay.
years sober now.
And you're how old?
I'm 27.
Oh, okay.
So I've never seen them
never
drink,
seen them drink or get high. That's
do
cool.
a drug, which
Okay.
is awesome because they've changed the dynamic of my family. Because I come from long line of drug
that's
addicts.
my thing I'm the proudest of in my life. Neither one of my kids has seen me. I got sober a year before my daughter was born.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's cool.
That's exactly what it was with my mom and my brother. So they changed and rewrote that code because both sides, I shit you not, drug addict, alcoholic, every single person.
I believe it. I've met you. I'm not fucking shocked at all. The genetics run deep.
Cool.
Takes one to know one, but yeah.
That's cool. So I, grew up in a household where there wasn't drugs, alcohol, and like it was a great place to grow up. My parents tried their best.
When did you know that they had that history? Like
early on.
Like how old?
So I grew up with people like detoxing off drugs and alcohol in my house. Like my parents were active in the community.
So your parents were very upfront.
Yes.
Early age. Like,
yes.
Here's what we've been through.
Yeah.
Here's what our family's gone through.
They were active in 12-step programs. Like there'd be someone on my couch. Like they did the work that most people won't do, right? You change your life and you're used to, being a drug addict and alcoholic. A lot of people forget that, but they've done the service. They've given back. They've have not forgotten where things came from, which I've always appreciated because my life has gotten better. I still do the work. Like you texted me on Sunday. I'm like, hey, I got a commitment doing this.
Yeah.
That's what keeps things good because you can't keep it if you don't give it away.
Right.
So age of 10, things really shifted. 2008, dad's in real estate. He was killing it before. We had like a couple dirt bikes, like
doing well.
Couple things going on. It was pretty awesome. And at that point, everything went to shit.
Yeah.
Parents split up. Brother got shipped off to, have you seen the movie Holes?
Holes?
Yeah. Where they go out, they get in trouble, dig a whole bunch of holes in the middle of nowhere.
No.
You got to watch it.
Sounds fucking interesting.
Yeah. Anybody who,
whole bunch of holes in the middle of nowhere.
Anybody watching,
sign me up.
For sure. Anybody watching this will catch that drift. But, essentially like primitive living. I didn't see my brother for like 3 years. He was wild when he was 12 and it was like, what are we going to do? So parents split up. He got shipped off.
Now your parents finances got bad, right? The world shut down, real estate. Do you think that's a big part of why your parents split up, or was it just other stuff going on? Not to get too personal. But.
I think it was a combination of both. Like because they were both sober and worked a program that, there was definitely stuff financially. I can't pinpoint it, but I think if the financial stuff had been better, I could see that working out.
Yeah.
I think with them both being active in recovery, like they did, I know factually they did the best that they could at any given point in time. So that brother's gone, they're split up, not seeing dad, and we went bankrupt. So I was used to having kind of a cool cush life, like ups and downs. But at that point, that's what set the tone for me. And I'm so, like hindsight, I'm so grateful for that because I really learned the value of a dollar. Like it went from, hey, we live in a house, this is the family house, to like, we don't fucking know what we're doing. And it was my mom and I against the world.
Yeah.
And I, to this day, without going too far deep into that, have such a special connection with my mom because we went through the fucking mud. It's like, hey, can we stay at this person's house? We're going here. Like she has enough money to order food to go. Like it was that type of stuff while my mom's going to school full-time, working full-time.
Where was your dad?
After that period of time, we just didn't talk for a while. And then we kind of recouped our relationship. And my dad had done some work on himself and, dove back into the program, and it completely changed the game. But from that, the first kind of like 2 years, it was me and mom against the world. So I used to hitchhike around the island. I had a skateboard. I played sports. But when I got so many concussions playing football, lacrosse, skateboarding, snowboarding, doing all the extreme shit that I did, a pivotal point for me was, hey, you can't play contact sports anymore. That was like my life. I'm like, dude, I'm not huge, but at the time, I was like, I want to play football. And if I can't play football, I want to play lacrosse. And if not, I want to do baseball. And things really took a shift between the family dynamics. I don't have my outlet anymore. I'm skateboarding, lifting weights. Like I was a yoked little drugged out 12-year-old at the skate park. Like by any means necessary. Like I want to have a good life. So fast forward through all that, started, I smoked weed the first time when I was 9. And I'm bringing that up because I think that's important for this story. And then 12, I was drinking, doing drugs, got into more heavier stuff. And then by the time I was 15, I'd already gotten my first felony. So by the time I was 15, I had 2 felonies. And so when you live on an island with 5,000 people and you get a felony,
world travels pretty fast.
Exactly. And your dad's the real estate guy and X, Y, and Z, and you know, brother's gone. Things just were not looking good. So if my dad's watching this, I apologize if that affected your career.
Sorry about that. Too late now, but he's gonna make it up to you.
100%. So I moved off the island, went to the mainland, fresh start, and guess what? Wasn't a fresh start at all. You know, went right back to the races. I remember the second week I moved off, I got connected with some people that were doing some real big boy shit that I had watched in movies. And I was like, this sounds about right. Like, we're broke as fuck. This sounds about right. I like the cars these guys drive. I like what they have going on. And, you know, it went from really good intentions, fresh start, to like, I'm going the polar opposite way real quick. So high school career. So I kind of want to fast forward through here because I could go, the story is endless. But, you know, high school career, I was a shithead. And how much can I be fully?
Everything.
So when I was 16,
I wouldn't fucking admit to any crimes. We'll cut it out.
Yeah, we're golden.
Other than that, you're good.
Statute of limitations, we're good.
I'm good.
High school, I got my medical marijuana card. So that was legal. And that's when things shifted, right? I was selling weed illegally at the time, had patients and all sorts of things.
Only in America. How great is that?
Exactly. And I was doing running start. So I was taking high school or college classes in high school, and I was doing them online. And then I was essentially running a legal weed business where I had patients. And, you know, I cracked 5-10 grand a month doing that. And my mom was still going to school for nursing and working more than full time as a nurse. And I watched her and I watched the dynamics of things. And I was just like, I don't want to fucking worry about money. Like the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years of my life, I've been worrying about money. Like, what can I do to at least take care of my stuff and set the tone? And of course, I watched Get Rich or Die Trying. And I was like, I'm gonna make that happen.
Get this shit right.
Like, this guy looks versatile. You know?
So you're doing that. You're making money. You watch your dad do his deal independently. Mom work a job. Went to school. Did you go to college?
Running start was the college course.
But outside of that, did you go to college?
I went for 3 months. I was sitting in class and I asked the professor, have you ever ran a business for a business class? And he said, no. I was like, I'm out.
Got it. So you were out at what age?
18.
All right. What'd you do for work then?
So I was already working at a digital marketing company, selling web design, SEO, hosting.
Where'd you learn how to do that?
I dated a girl. Her mom dated a guy. His name's Gary Pickering. He was like, hey, you should look at not doing what you're doing, because he had an idea of what was going on. And, you know, I had a couple run-ins with the law, and he's like, you seem like a great kid. Like, let me give you this pathway to it. And he gave me a part-time opportunity.
Really?
And it just kind of opened up the doors to a whole level of knowledge with that. So I was doing college at the community college. I almost had my 2-year degree because I did it in high school. And that was the goal. Like, let's get the college degree, first person in the family, X, Y, and Z. But once that door opened and I realized this guy was actually showing me about business, like the way you have about this business, transparent, here's the money, this is what it looks like, this is how you do it, like real shit, that's 10 times more valuable than any college degree, depending on what field you're going in my opinion. So I got exposed to that and dropped out of the school and got way more knowledgeable about it. Like, I was walking into businesses in Bellingham, Washington, just cold knock, business cards, like real sales stuff, where I was like, I have no idea really how to do this, but I had tenacity and I was excited.
Right.
I was like, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be selling weed. I don't want to be selling X, Y, or Z. Like, I would like to do this as legitimately as possible. And I knew there was an opportunity there. And, you know, I started making some good money. Life kind of turned around, but started to get back in drugs. Yeah. You know, like made some money. I remember I bought a 7 Series BMW with black 22-inch rims and thought I was the shit. I was 19 years old, feeling like the man. Like, Get Rich or Die Trying. He buys a Mercedes Benz. I did that for myself. And it was a cool experience. Once again, went right back down the wrong path. Started moving coke, which I feel comfortable talking about because I've been charged, tried. That's all done. And
first of all, you know what's the funny thing in life, and it's actually kind of happened nowadays, which is funny. You're how old?
27.
Okay, so I'm 51.
Yeah.
Okay. It's funny how much things have changed.
Yeah.
You know, meaning like, dude, it was really hard when I was younger to get a job with a record.
Yeah.
Really hard. Like it was, first of all, I was young. So what the hell did I know? I was like, I guess it's just always as hard, but it was really hard. And I like had to work hard to get my stuff like expunged and all that. And it's funny nowadays. And if you're one of these people, then stop doing it. It's like people will make up stories to act like they went through things they didn't go through, because it's actually like, it's this badge of honor for them, right? Which is weird, but it's so weird for a guy my age, because I'm like, growing up, everybody's like, dude, don't fucking tell them. And I'm like, dude, they do run your fucking check and they find it. Like, you know, and then it was like, well, you can't. And I remember working hard trying to get a job at UPS. Like, I'm like, dude, like, what is my fucking selling drugs and fighting people got to do with the packages? Like, what am I going to do to the fucking packages? Like, I'm not going to steal them. You track them all. It's actually a good job. And actually, I was in the unloading them anyway. You know what I mean? And it's funny because they hired me, and then I was there like a year and a half. And this dude, so you ever work at UPS?
No.
So this huge facility, back up fucking dozens of fucking tractor trailers. You unload them. It's called the preload. Hits the belt, and they sort like these color-coded belts. Might do it differently nowadays. And I was a unloader because I was a fucking animal. I was high, drunk. I'd come in, fucking unload things like 18 minutes, scream, yell. And then the guys that weren't as good, in my opinion, if you're one of these guys, were on the belts. They would load the trucks. Like they'd be like, and we were fucking animals unloading the trucks. So this kid was on, oh yeah, fucking loaded, high. This kid's on blue belt. And all of a sudden, I'm fucking unloading the trucks. And I look out and I'm like, oh, fuck, the state cops are here. And I'm like, I didn't do shit. I'm just high, but I'm in the truck. Like, what the fuck? You can't get a DUI unloading a UPS truck. Like, I'm already at work. And they fucking arrest the kid he'd been stealing. And he fucking starts bawling. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this bitch? Like, you know what I mean? He's stealing like JCPenney jewelry. His dad was like the chief of police. And I was like, ain't that some shit? So they like came in a little sting operation. But you went through all that. And when you listen to what you're saying, and this, I wish more people would understand this, getting to know you, there's insane power in not taking no for an answer. We all create very amazing social skills, especially those of us that have to navigate getting something to eat, mom's new boyfriend, my mother one time. And if she's what, she gets mad at me. Cause she'd be like, why do you say that? And I'm like, it's fucking true. It's like, well, I wish you wouldn't share it. But I'm like, it's true. So it's kind of my right to share it because it's my story too. So if my mom gets mad at me, then she'll already be mad. But I'll tell when she's mad. She'll watch and she won't talk to me for a while. And she was dating this guy, and I fucking didn't like him. Me and my brother were in the car, and she's like, come on, we're going to go for a ride. And I'm like, oh, whatever. So we're driving down the street in this little town, and I look, and there's a fucking police department. And there's like cops outside because it's a police department. It's fucking summer. Windows are down. So I yell, help, we're being kidnapped. Help. And he's like, shut up. And I'm like, fuck you. You know, I'm like 9. And my poor mom, dude, they chase us. They literally fucking chase us because they think this little kid's got fucking kidnapped, you know? So I put her through hell, you know what I mean, to say the least. You look at what you're doing. You made a comment about your mom. You just talked to your mom. You talked to your mom a lot. From an income standpoint, because I don't think, getting to know you a little bit, how long you been sober now?
I'm coming up on 2.5 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How is it now? What was it? People always ask me, when was the hard? For me, the first year was really hard. I don't know, but like really hard. And then I mean, there's times, but it got a lot fucking easier. But the first like 3 months, 6 months, 9 months was really hard. What's been your biggest, like for those people that are out there trying to figure that part out, what's your best piece of advice for people that are trying to get sober, struggling with their own sobriety?
So one of the best things my mom ever told me, I was at one of the lowest points of my life. And I had made a couple mistakes that were so bad where sitting there, it was like, what is the point of being here right now? Like, I'm like, these are not casual fuck ups. Like, this is going to take years to recover from. And I remember my mom saying, just don't give up before the fucking miracle. And she honestly didn't have anything else to say, because I think she knew in her heart, like, this is bad. Like, this isn't something I got some crazy piece of advice. It was like, I just hope
that is
you
crazy good advice, though.
that you hold on to
give
it.
Up before the miracle.
And I say that all the time. Like, my team meetings, I'm like, don't give up before the fucking miracle. You got to have the fucking in there too. Cause my mom,
we're going to do that and punch me in the face. But don't give up before the fucking miracle.
Yeah, sure. But that point in time, you know, I truly felt like everything was over. And at that point in time, it kind of was.
Yeah.
But hanging on to that and walking through the fire, like, literally, I've been to hell and back multiple times. I've died twice from overdoses. To even be sitting here is a
overdose
fucking
on what?
Fentanyl.
No shit. How many times you use fentanyl?
A lot.
Dude, that's a fucking insane fucking deal.
Yeah.
We don't ask only because it's funny. Not funny. It's being my age. There's so many things. There was no fentanyl.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been sober 23 years. I flipped my quad like 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Broke my ribs, neck, back, whole all fucked up. And I get up. I'm in shock first. I'm trying to get back on. I'm being a psycho, and then I realize I can't breathe. I thought I punctured my lung. I say that only because I got in the ambulance. My buddy Sean's like, "You want me to call an ambulance?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think I punctured my fucking lung." He's like, "All right." And so the ambulance shows up, and then as they started realizing, they're like, "No, we think I broke 7 ribs here." You know, I was like, "Okay, I just didn't want to puncture a lung." Yeah. Not that I want to break my ribs either, but I got in the ambulance, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh my God." But I didn't know they gave me fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, no more. Yeah. Because that was way too fucking badass.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So you overdosed.
Yeah. It actually, not to get off track.
No, but I'm actually very curious.
I crashed a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
Bad. And that
you were on fentanyl and drove a motorcycle?
No, I have it at a different time. I was sober at a different time. Crashed a motorcycle really bad, and that started a whole pain pill kick where
they gave you fentanyl.
Yes. Regardless, I was going to find it.
How did you take it afterward? You shot it? You fucking took it?
So they come in blue pills that look like
I'm glad I didn't know that.
Perk 30s. So they look, that's, to be honest, that's why everybody's dying. So there's oxycodone, Perk 30s, they're blue. Mm-hmm. And that was like the most luxurious pill back in the day.
Okay.
And they started making those, selling them as real perks.
Okay.
But it's fentanyl. So it's just repressed. So people can pop them, snort them, smoke them, whatever you want to do, like whatever your thing is.
A lot of people die from fentanyl.
Yeah.
Why the fuck, if you're selling it, does it make sense to kill your fucking consumer?
I still haven't figured that out.
I'm genuinely trying to figure that out. Like, I'm asking, like, how does that good business? Like, I wouldn't fucking sell real estate and be like, hope my clients die.
Here's the other side of it, though, because even from back in the day,
they can't buy from you again when they're dead.
Exactly, but people that are addicts, if someone dies, depending on where you're at in the timing, it's like he's got the good shit. Like, he's got the you might die shit. Yeah. And to be honest, I'm crazy for saying this, but people are like, "Whoa, I never thought of you as a guy that was going to do fentanyl." Dude, when I'm 12 skating, just smoking some weed at the skate park, like, I never think at any point in time, like, hey, I'm going to love doing fentanyl and cocaine at the same time every day and be able to function and run a business for X amount of years doing that. But, like, that's what happened. And I think also I love adrenaline, right? I'm sober. I live my life like a very particular way, but I still love adrenaline. Like, I have to have a positive, fun life. And part of it with fentanyl was like, dude, I might die at any point in time. Yeah. And like that thrill of that on a daily basis and getting fucked up beyond belief, where I was numbing out every bad thing that's ever happened, every bad thing that I've ever done.
Okay. So you could fucking, using coke and work, and I get it. I did it forever.
Yeah.
You could pop fentanyl. You could take it with coke.
Yeah.
And go to work.
Yeah. Oh, so the thing with coke, you get anxiety. You're up when you're coming down. You're thinking about every bad thing. You're like, when I was 6, I stole a piece of candy from the store.
The best fucking followed by the worst.
Yeah,
no doubt.
So I figured out the cheat code. You hear it on Wolf of Wall Street, where he's talking about all the drugs that he takes, like the perfect cocktail. I watched that and I applied that to my life excessively. Yeah. So from Adderall to Xanax to Oxy to then fentanyl, cocaine, all the other stuff, where it was like, in my head, I was justifying it. I want to be as profitable and focused as possible. My thing with being an addict is I would just hate the way I felt when I woke up in the morning.
Yeah.
Part of it, I was born with probably an unbalance of a couple things, right? But the biggest thing is like I was afraid of.
How many hours a night were you sleeping?
I wasn't, dude.
You weren't sleeping?
I'd like take a nap in the middle of the day.
For how long?
maybe an hour, 2 hours. Because if I would fall asleep, I'd be out for like 2 days. My body's like, hey, we got to go. So, and it progressed. Like, keep in mind, I used to party and just have fun.
Yeah.
But then it got darker and darker.
So what made you stop?
Full transparency, I'm grateful I can actually like say the raw, real shit on here. I was so sick of keeping up with the habit. 2020, I made the most money in my life. Also lost the most money. I made a little over $250,000.
Got it.
A lot of it was in crypto. So I was making a lot of money on crypto and spending money like I had already cashed it out.
Yeah.
So I'm living this baller, glamorous. I wouldn't even say glamorous, just to me, what I was used to.
Fuck yeah.
Had the drug fund that was whatever I wanted it to be. And one day everything crashed. And things got real. I still had some cash, like it wasn't over. I got so sick of literally sprinting from the person I am just to feel good on a daily basis. Like at first it's fun, it's exciting, then you just get sick of it. Like I'm just keeping up with the habit where the physically addictive drugs, like it's not, when you're doing fentanyl, it's completely like Coke. You could be like, hey, I'm done. I want to be done. You're going to feel like shit for a day, 2 days, 3 days. This, it's like physically addictive. And I'm running a business that somehow I could hold up communication, contact, presence, everything like that. Like at that point, you know, you're kind of a sick motherfucker because you can be the chameleon that keeps up and keeps clients happy, gets the work done, and be doing X, Y, and Z. But I had tried to detox off fentanyl 16 times in a 9-month period. And that was pretty much right after I started doing it. So what that tells me outside perspective is I didn't want to be on drugs. Like I knew it was so far against like every moral I stand for and the people in my family and what my parents did to like rewrite the code where when it finally, after many times of getting sober since I was 16 years old, I remember I was at my house. I'm like, I'm done. I hit up all my clients. I'm like, I need a week. I'm going to get a couple things figured out. And I was like, I'm just going to detox on my own. Didn't go to treatment, didn't go anywhere. And I had been doing so many different drugs, like such a cocktail, where the only two things that can kill you are alcohol withdrawals and Xanax. I was medicating like I was a fucking elephant. So I got off the fentanyl, got off the Xanax, the cocaine, all the other stuff. And, you know, I was cool for the first little bit, but what ended up happening is I fell out and went into a seizure and no one had heard from me for multiple days. So like on the same day, my mom called a welfare check-in from California. Someone else called in from Washington, and then someone from Arizona. Cops show up at my house, kick in my door, which there has to be multiple calls for them.
No doubt.
Like, they were like,
no, they were worried something happened to you.
My brother hit up my mom, was like, I don't know why I can feel this, but Christo is dead. And there was a couple other people that felt that. So they kick in the door and they find me just seizing at my house. The crazy part is it's not like I took too many drugs where I was like, hey, I'm out. It's like I won't desperately, and I can feel this in my fucking soul as I say it. I desperately wanted to get off drugs so bad and like be a good son and like pursue my fucking. It
almost fucking killed you.
100%. But that's where ego comes in. I didn't want to call and ask for help so bad that I was willing to risk my life.
If the cops didn't show, you'd be dead.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So they show up, they fucking hook you up, hospital.
I was in the hospital for like 3 days. My mom could repeat this story better, but I don't remember any of this. But I was incoherent. They were about to sign power of attorney over, and they thought I was like a vegetable.
Really?
Yeah, I was like 70 pounds lighter than I am now.
Really?
Yeah, I hadn't eaten too. I was like dehydrated, hadn't eaten. Like things went from, I felt like I looked like a Greek god because I was sober before I got back on drugs and just started like withering. Not a Greek god, you know what I mean? Like the best of my life, like clean, healthy, good.
I felt like a fucking $1 billion. Yeah.
And then all the way into like, I look like a fucking tweaker. And all my biggest fears have come true. Like I wake up from the hospital and I can barely walk. I don't even know what day it is. I told them my wrong name, wrong social, wrong everything. They're like, this dude's smoked. And I remember getting up, looking in the mirror and being like, who the fuck is this guy? Like a movie.
Crazy.
And
but you recovered.
Yeah, thank
Healthy.
God. Once I got up and finally got some food and some liquids, like it all came back. Like my memory started to come back. Things started rocking and rolling. And from that point, it was straight to treatment. Get me out of the state. Like get me somewhere where I don't know anybody, especially with what I was doing at the time. And from that point, you know, I literally, metaphorically, every which way you can think of, push the restart button on my life.
Love it. So now you're building a massive business in life insurance.
Yes.
Fucking crushing it, which
you.
is great. What's your goal in 2024?
So I got some wild goals, but I also want to be realistic. By the end of 2024, I want to mandatorily be at $5 million a month.
Okay.
I'm going to shoot for bigger than that, but that's what I'm going to communicate to the
minimally,
world.
No matter what happens.
Yeah.
What will that make you for the year, roughly, in income? It's a fucking lot, but have you even done the math on it?
No, I need to. Maybe we can do that after here.
We do it fucking right now. So if you're doing if you're doing $5 million a month, which you could definitely do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do by the end of the year, let's say you averaged 4. Let's say you did 40 million for the year.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're hitting $5 million a month by the end of the year, but you did 40 million for the year.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're spreading fucking 10 points,
and
it'll be more than that. It's 4 million.
Yeah.
And then you add in bonus, you're going to get a number like that. I mean, you're talking about another, 2. I mean, you're going to make, that'd be like $7 million.
That's crazy.
And if you spent a fucking mil to get it, you net 6 million, which is a lot of freaking money.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
It's crazy. One, it's crazy to be.
He's not even on it. He's laughing over there. He's over there like fucking. Everybody's laughing.
So it's crazy. One, it's crazy to even be at this table with you. 2, to even have the opportunity, like with my record, with my background, to be able to have a conversation like that. Because it's like I haven't even been with the company for 2 years. Like January will be 2 years. I made 62 G's last month. And the level of IQ and experience I have in this business, not a lot.
But here's the thing. I just said this to you on the car ride over here. If more people understood what you understand, because you are smart, you do know quite a bit about the business. Yeah. And I get it. But it's like, hey, I'm going to be humble. I think also when you get sober and you've been humbled, you're kind of like, dude, I ain't fucking living in no ego. Like ego's bad. I'm just going to live with humility because it just seems to work out a lot better. Yeah. When I made really bad decisions in the past that were purely egotistical. Yeah. So I'm going to live in humility. But I tell people all the time, you can't have a big business and a big ego. Pick one. And it's kind of like, for me too, it was like, I couldn't get sober because the epitome for me of getting, I mean, again, my deal was different, what I went through. We all have our own story. But I could not have gotten sober had I not eventually believed it is me. I am fucked up. I do want to be a better son. I do want to be a better human being. I don't want to have fucking kids and fucking raise them this way. Yeah. I don't want to put them through that. Yeah. Like realize that I am the fucking problem. Yeah. And live in complete humility. And which is why I think you built such a big business, because you watch the people around you, they're drawn to your work ethic. Yes. That's awesome. They're drawn to your intentionality and your belief in them. Yes. But I think, dude, they're super drawn to the fact that you're transparent and humble, and everybody that walks in the door believes I can do this. Yeah. Not only can I do it, I can do it the way he's doing it. And I think that's the struggle for people. Like when people get compliments and they take them, I'm like, oh God, like you have all these people around you and they're all like, it's soil. You're supposed to like help grow shit in. Yeah. And the sun comes on you. Sean, you're so great. I can't believe you did that. And if I go, I am fucking great. I mean, like, dude, thank you. The sun all comes on me and everything around me can't fucking grow. Then I'm like, why are you all not growing? And you're like, because you fucking take all the sun, motherfucker, and don't let us have any sun. You don't let anybody grow. And on the flip side, too, when you're working with people, if you take the responsibility for how good they are, you have to take the blame for when they fucking fail. Yeah. I don't want that either. So my deal is like, no matter what any company says, man, you guys do this. I'm like, or you do this. And I'm like, you're a superstar. I'm like, dude, I have 30,000 people. We kick fucking ass. Yeah. It's like when you coach. Team's good. I got good players. You guys lost. I know. Bad game plan on my part. Yeah. Like, dude, what do you want me to tell you? So I look at you and I see where you're going to go. You also have this likability where people are drawn to you because it's true. If you were talking to anybody out there, because a lot of people out there, hundreds of millions of people live in America. I lived through 2008. I mean, you don't remember much of 2008 because of how old you were. You were young. I mean, you weren't living what I was living. Like I had my real estate license, fucking market, and finances fuck relationships up too. When you said that, my mom and dad may have weathered the storm, maybe hadn't. But a lot of times we put ourselves in that position because we don't plan properly. Or we don't know how to get there. for the people out there that are trying to get by, especially in today's world, because it is hard. They're trying to fucking pay their bills. They're trying to get by. They're fucking frustrated. What would be one piece of advice? Somebody's going, you know what? I've been through this. I haven't been through this. Maybe I had a crazy. Maybe I haven't. You know, everybody has their own shit. I had a guy the other day. He's like, man, I've really haven't had any of these problems everybody else had. I said, what are you talking about? He's like, I had a perfect childhood.
Yeah.
I go, dude, your dad died when you were 12.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh shit, yeah. My parents were great. I go, I know. But had my dad died or your dad died, if they weren't around, I've reconnected with my dad. I want my dad to be okay. But it wasn't like I would have been like, I wouldn't have fucking like, oh my God. I mean, we just were like living our lives. We're just, he had like the fucking perfect family. And then boom, dad's gone.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, I didn't think about that. I said, dude, that's a lot to go through.
Yeah.
Just because it's not that other story. Some people that lose their parents and don't know them, they're like, my dad died. Okay, what's for lunch?
Yeah.
Because he's not there. You know what I mean? But so one piece of advice you'd give people that are looking to change their life financially from a guy who is, because now we're going to have to get him back at the end of 24 and check on that and see what he made. We'll fucking actually have a real report of here's his fucking tax return. Here's what he made. What is one piece of advice you give everybody if they're trying to start their entrepreneurial journey?
So I've made some changes, but the biggest changes have come when I've had the gift of desperation. I love that. And when things got bad where my back was up against the wall, or finally the ego's aside and I'm like, look, Sean, I don't know what the fuck to do. Can you tell me? And I'm going to do exactly what you tell me. If you're looking to make a big change and you want to change your fucking life, if you're anything like me, once you're willing to do it another man's way and not fucking take credit for it, that is when my life changed. Like, I'm like, it is everybody else's but mine. Like, it's not my idea. And same with this business. Same with sobriety. Like, the stuff I do to stay sober. I didn't be like, hey, Sean, I've decided to not be sober. It is a daily thing. Like, I wake up, I pray, I fucking meditate. I go to a whole bunch of meetings I don't want to go to all the time. I go volunteer at rehabs I don't want to go to all the time. But I do all the things that have gotten me to where I was at. You know what I mean? I didn't get there and I'm like, hey, fuck all this stuff. And I think, like, one thing I can say is, not to direct it back at you, but dude, when I met you, I was astounded by the human being that you are, because I had just gotten out of rehab and you had brought up sobriety at a business overview meeting. And like, that honestly changed my fucking life to hear that from you, where I'm like, who is, like, how do I not know who this guy, how do I not know who this business is? And I didn't get licensed because of my legal background for another 4 or 5, 6 months later. But you talking and being open and honest about sobriety and like in a humble, transparent way, that fired me up. I was like, I can ride with this company. I was like, I don't even know who these people are.
I don't know what they're doing, bro. I'm in.
I was like, the comp plan's good. He talked about sobriety. Like, I know. Yeah, for sure. Because that's the thing, is like, I want to be around people where I can trust, know they're going to have my back, because I'll grind my fucking face off if I feel like I have people that have my back. But to redirect to that question, like, whenever you're willing to do it another man's way, because when I thought I had it all figured out, it's like, that's when I kept headbutting a wall for years.
And there's people out there that want to give you advice. They want to mentor. They want to help, but nobody wants that. Like, people will be like, how'd you get to know that guy? I just started talking to him, asking him questions. Yeah. He was doing shit I wasn't doing. I want to know how he did it. Yeah. And nobody asked him. Yeah. Everybody's so full of themselves. So I'm like, dude, nobody wants to talk. Hey, how did you get this? Yeah. When y'all developed this, what did you do? When you got here at this crossroads, what'd you do? How'd you develop the funding? Like, I went through all that shit. Yeah. Dude, I'm going to tell you what, I could talk to you all day long. This is unfucking believable. We're going to have to get you back on here. We got to get your mom on here. Can we get your mom on Punch Me in the Face? Will she come on? Yeah, she will. What's her name? Angela. Angela, you are invited on to Punch Me in the Face. You got to read the book first, but then you are in Punch Me in the Face on the show, because we need to hear you talk about your son over here. Christo, you are the man. I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for getting on, man. Great day. Hey, guys, thank you for jumping on. Thank you for your time always. Take the information. It will help you. It's real. It's raw. It's transparent. When you're vulnerable enough to do another man's way, that was huge. Change your life. So appreciate you guys.